Why worry about privacy and anonymity? When has the government ever lied to us?
9/11.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again, and welcome back to a special edition of the Larry and Joe Show. Tonight, we're going to be talking to people from different states, different countries about this virus that's going on, the coronavirus. Tonight, we got a few people with us from all over the place. We definitely got Joe here with us. You know, it's me and Joe. That's Joe. I'm Larry. We got Satoshi Sean from Texas. We have Darko, who's in Australia. We have the coin you don't see, but he's here. He's from Portugal. And we have the closer, who's actually in Arizona. So tonight, guys, we're going to get together, talk about some things with this virus. We're going to talk a little crypto. Again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming here. And thanks for, sharing your time with us so we could share our thoughts and ideas on what's happening today. Joe, what do you think, bud? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Thank you. Just Larry couldn't have said it better. Thank you. I'm just setting up over here, guys. We already got somebody in the chat. Big Kitch, what's up, brother? How you doing? Angie, how you doing? Mrs. Rose in the house. Good to see you, Angie. Angie, we love you here, Angie. We love you. And Big Kitch, thank you for stopping by. No, guys, we're doing great. Unfortunately, we have a little side effect to the greatness that's going on, which is this virus that we're unfortunately all dealing with. Some greater than other people, but I guess that's part of life. And we wanted to take this opportunity and the show to kind of speak to amongst us and the people in the chat, because we got people from all around the world, and just see how the virus is like being handled in your country, how it's working in your country. We could also talk about, do you think, is there any correlation to crypto, or is there any correlation to the stock market? All of that we could get into. And I really want to make it an interesting show about that, because since I've been born, the only true virus that I've seen that was like really serious was HIV. But the HIV virus, it was weird because it was a virus that you could only catch if you're like doing something stupid, or you're a drug addict and you're somebody that you really probably shouldn't be in the population anyway. All right. And with this disease now that we're seeing, which there's a lot of proof going back to where this is, people proving this a couple years ago. Some people saying that this was an energy weapon 20 or 30 years ago that they used. I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. But what I could tell you is this, is that they do find that the virus is not killing many young people, if any at all, which is great. But then number two, that leads me to believe that, all right, so you want to whack out and you want to wipe out the 80 and 90-year-olds that are sitting around collecting money and really not producing anything into the world. So it's like, what is it? Or maybe it's just a coincidence and the virus happened and it happened. But I just, with the nomination in November coming up, with them already trying to get him out of office and they couldn't, with the halvings coming up for Bitcoin, with Ethereum 2.0 coming out, with all this stuff coming out, there's just so much going on. It's like this virus hit it like the perfect fucking time. And, that's just my take on it.
It's just a shame. It's just a shame what happened at the point that it happened. I don't know. It came out, it started little over in China, whatever. It just started spreading. And next thing you know, it's all over the place. That's why, we got Satoshi Sean here. We got Darko, we got the closer, we got the coin, because we want to just see how it's affected in different areas. I mean, we all come from different areas, but it's all affecting us almost the same, really, if you think about it. We might be all different places, but we all don't have toilet paper on the shelves. You don't have this over there. It's just a crazy thing. So with that being said, it's just like I personally want to hear what everybody has to say as far as what's going on in your area, how things are happening. New York pretty much is closed. They said they're big in the paper today. New York is closed. Everything's shut down. How do we stop this? What do you think? What's your thoughts and ideas on this? So Sean, what about you, buddy? What's going on by you, real quick? We'll see what's happening in your area. Sean's from Texas, right, Sean?
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I've known this stuff was coming for a couple of weeks. Some friends of mine got some information from some people that worked in the White House.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I posted it, I think.
No. I mean that, like, yeah, in a way, like, holy shit. So this was definitely predetermined.
So
yes, it's been predetermined. That's why one of the reasons why they made these announcements when most kids were in
Sorry, boss.
Most kids are in spring break. So they were getting teachers ready right before spring break and then after, that they were going to be closing schools and what they need to do. And now they've closed, I think, all the schools in my area. Baylor closed.
Wow.
Larry was going over yesterday. The NCAA, NBA, they're all shut down. They closed South by Southwest in Austin, which was like really huge. But yeah, I've known it was coming for a while. Some of the stuff and I had told people that I care about, the first thing that was going to go was the supply chain. And that was about 3 weeks ago. And my nephew is a truck driver. So I told him, I said, dude, you're going to lose your job within the next few weeks. But he hauls oil. So he is, better. But he thought I was a little bit nuts. My kids still think I'm nuts. But sure enough, about a week later, he gave me a call. He's like, hey, there's like 4 major trucking companies that just closed.
Wow.
Because there was nothing coming in. So basically, we become so dependent on China that because they were shut down for going on 2 months, we have no regular goods coming in. And sure enough, and it's not that if you go look on Amazon, a lot of products there's no Prime on them because they can't deliver them. They don't have them. The delivery time's like 2 months, to a month, something like that.
Compared to the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because the warehouses don't have anything, and there were no ships coming in with more stuff. And then one of the scariest things, which I didn't even know, but the United States, 95% of our antibiotics come from China.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I don't think any country should be 95% dependent on anything.
No.
That is something that is crucial. So yeah, 95%, and that was and then now it's come out that was a big thing in the tariffs, which y'all were talking about. It was a threat because literally they could be like, hey, you want antibiotics? Then let's talk, which is too much power. And now it could turn into a crisis, like it is.
Oh no, yeah. You're correct.
But like I said, I've known all this stuff is coming. I talked to like some of my family members about it. I didn't think everyone was going to go as crazy as they have. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy or action where I had bought like more stuff than I really would have. Not because I'm worried about it, but I'm worried about not having it there because everyone's going crazy and buying everything.
Don't worry, we're on the same page, bro.
So you're actually like, I need to buy this toilet paper just because there won't be any left.
Right.
But the toilet paper thing, I feel so vindicated, especially you, Larry, because I, like you said, live in Texas, and I'm ridiculed because I own a bidet. Even Larry has made fun of me for owning a bidet, but you know what? I don't need that much toilet paper because I have a bidet.
But today you're the king.
Yeah.
Today you're God bless you.
Yeah.
I want to come visit you now. But don't worry, I got toilet paper. Not that this virus is causing people to shit their pants, though. That's another thing. It's just a freaking out of need. They're thinking they need it.
But it's also weird that a lot of here. I was like posting all week. I was like, man, I hope they don't shut everything down on Friday the 13th. Really hope they don't do all this stuff on Friday the 13th. Sure enough, all the schools are shutting down today. All the announcements are coming out.
Another conspiracy theory, right?
Friday 13th.
My plan was my mom. She does like cool things for me every once in a while. So she's like, look, I want to take you food shopping. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll do it this weekend. This was on Monday. But then every day I see this virus getting worse, and I'm hearing $50 toilet paper and $100 toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Mom, we might need to push this day a couple of days forward. So we were going to go tomorrow. We ended up going today. Let me tell you, there was no toilet paper, first of all, there. There was 3 packs of baby wipes. I bought those. And then as I was walking out, a guy actually opened one. He said, this is the last box of toilet paper. I think there was like 5 big things in there. I got it right here, actually. And he said, this is all we got left, guys. You probably can't see it. But anyway, he's like, that's all we got left. And he said, that is it. And he's like, all our other stores are sold out. He's like, we are completely sold out on toilet paper.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know what? There's a market. If you could have thought about this ahead of time, like Sean, you had an insight on this, I would have bought a truckload of freaking toilet paper and started selling for $50 a roll. And who's better than you? Freaking time to retire. You got to dig business, man. Come on. What are you doing over there?
I saw a meme. It was like a drug. You know, they had like a little scale, and they just had rolls of toilet paper, and they were like putting out sheets and putting them in little baggies.
There is something that I don't understand. Why is everybody going nuts over toilet paper in the United States? I don't get it.
Well, are you stocked up still good over there, Coin? I mean, is anybody doing that over there by you? Are they taking toilet paper? No, they don't. They're not doing that.
Of course, I got a thong on. Look where I am. I'm tropical island. Come on, what do you think? What do you think is going on?
We don't have that craze in here right now. We do, at least right now, we don't have any. We don't have any kind of panic right now. So I don't understand why this craze about toilet paper.
I can't understand either. Coin. And if anybody knows, Coin is actually in Portugal, and he's got some things going on over there. But yeah, Coin, you're right. What's the deal with the toilet paper? Is that, like I said, I haven't found any reason or anywhere it says that if you catch this virus or something like that, you're going to shit your pants, because it doesn't make sense. But I think the whole idea of it was that people don't want to be caught in their houses without toilet paper if, for some reason, they can't get it here no more with the truck, because everything shuts down, your store shut down.
Exactly.
But you know what you do then? You got to go to the bathroom. What are you doing? You're in the woods. You get freaking leaves. You do whatever you get, the newspaper. Go take a shower. Come on. But
exactly.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right?
My answer would be take a shower right after.
Freaking shower.
A lot of those things that you're talking about, Larry, a lot of people nowadays don't do them. In America, speaking as an American, people don't do a lot of things for themselves, and we have never been in this kind of situation before. So nobody knows how to handle it. No one knows how to act.
Exactly.
People do what, it's like Men in Black. People are stupid and panicky, and, a person is not that way, but people are. And that's just, like we said, everybody, it's like a bank run, but, everyone knows if I'm at home, I want to make sure I have something to eat and toilet paper.
Or a bidet.
No, in
my
shoot
your water up your
smart ones.
Do you go in there when you don't have to go to the bathroom? Sure.
No, I don't. Don't be weird, man. No, I don't.
I'm just saying. What are you gonna do? So anyway,
now, before we go further, I just wanted to give because we got a lot of people in the chat. I just want to give everybody a quick shout out. Big Hitch, Angie Rose, Timothy Freich says, where in the flying fudge did the two you disappear? We just we took a long story, took a little break, but we're gonna slowly transition back in and hopefully have the Larry and Joe show back to normal. Apollo Man, hey, how you doing? Timothy again. Anybody want to try Italy? Good grief. So he's from Italy. We are under martial law, complete silence here. It's spreading like wildfires. Holy shit. Yeah, Timothy, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's going to be unveiled worldwide. That is the problem. That is what it's all about. Medical martial law.
Yeah, that's what freaked me out, that there's troops on the streets in Italy.
That's insane.
They sent the National Guard here to New York. Up in Westchester, the National Guard they sent down because the area in Westchester is so freaking bad. They had to send the National Guard in. It's crazy.
Timothy, real quick, just if you're still here, which I hope you are, could you please answer this? So like you can't just go outside and like like, what if you need food? Do they supply it for you? What if you run out of water? Because I'm sure not everybody was prepared for 14 or 21 days of not being able to leave your house. So while you answer that, Apollo Man, another couple questions. Thank you for being here, Apollo Man. And please, everybody, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button for us. It helps us out a lot. It really does. You know, we like to try to do giveaways here and there, and the more people we have, the better. So please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. That's all we ask.
I see Kurt Jones is in there too. Low Roller Scratcher.
What's up, Kurt?
Pete Petito.
Peter Petito. He wants a line with his Corona. Who else?
Big
Who
Mike.
else?
Big Mike's here. Yeah,
Is
no,
Joe
it's
in a
crazy.
thong yet?
Yeah.
I do got the thong on, Pete. Don't worry about it.
Well, Joe,
But
like,
I am
was
looking good, Pete. Just pass on the word to Dom for me, please.
I was telling you about that Council of Central Texas Governments. I never knew existed till now, but they came out and they said that they have a 3-part plan, and that's what I think most communities or governments are going to do. They have phase 1, which is just information and preparing, and then phase 2 is if there's confirmed cases, and then what they're going to do. And then phase 3 is if there is like a serious outbreak and there's multiple cases. That's what I was concerned about. That's when they're going to require businesses to shut down, except for medical and grocery stores. That's it. Hospitals and grocery stores. And then you're supposed to stay in your house unless you have to go to the grocery store or the hospital.
Well, here in New York, anybody over 500 people are not allowed to gather here in New York. Any place that's more than 500 people working for them, or a concert, anything like that, it's all shut down. It's all shut down.
In phase 2, it was suggested. They were cutting all government. Like if it was for your city, they had a fair or anything, that's all done. But they were suggesting private organizations, businesses, parties, weddings, whatever. If it's over, I think it was like 150 people or 100 people, for you to cancel it. And then at phase 3, then like they probably wouldn't let you use, the Civic Center or stuff like that, even if it was private.
All right. And Darko, how you making out? Darko's actually in Australia. In Australia over there, they're actually shooting people to get toilet paper. But I see Darko got his own paper right there. Right, Darko?
Yeah, wish I could join you, brother. Wish I could join you.
Darko, so what's going on in Australia, brother? How's it going?
Everybody's wiping their assholes with this kind of toilet paper at the moment.
Is that real? Is that the raw brand?
That's good for fidgets.
And a substitute to that is Bible paper. Works really well as well.
Yeah, I've tried that. Especially if you go to page 36 and you go to
Palms 316.
Three-quarters of the way down, you usually get a nice roll out of that.
I just start from Genesis. It's a good beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The prophecy.
Just going back in time a little bit. Earlier this week, who did I speak to from this channel? Was it Larry or Joe in regards to Australia?
Probably
Joe.
Anything on Telegram is Joe.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. We had organized a stream for Thursday night with guests, and I went and made some talks, and you didn't show up. And we were waiting for 8 p.m. Thursday. The people who I invited was Rob Loja, Max, the business director of Crypto Profile, and the founder and direct CEO of Proxima X, who is the co-founder of the NEM project, the top 30 coin.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why didn't you call? Why didn't you call me?
I was messaging you, dude, and you went online.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give you my phone number because I don't remember that. I really don't, and
dude,
that's real.
Check your chat history because I had these people waiting, and dude, I was so disappointed. I went out, bought excess amount of this stuff because I thought you were talking shit, so I could wipe your mouth with. It was really embarrassing, mate.
Wow.
No, but Rob's been on the show a few times. I know. Well, I don't know him from the outside, but I know Rob well from the show, and I do apologize for that. I'm sorry.
And I believe Mr. Lon Wong is from Vietnam. Max is from Singapore, and we waited for 2 hours, dude. And you weren't replying, man, and I got really embarrassed. So I think you owe these guys one. I was going to bring him a surprise guest for you, dude. So it was really exciting for us. And I just felt a bit disappointed, dude. So send me your cell number, dude, so we can avoid this from happening again.
Yeah,
Because
I definitely will.
it fucked my day up, man. It really fucked my day.
I can't. So you're talking about that this was last Thursday?
2 days ago, Thursday night, 8 p.m., we agreed to a stream. It's in your chats.
Thursday night, 8 p.m. Okay, I'll double check.
All right, so you guys talk about that later. That's personal stuff, Darko.
Yeah, not personal. I've said it now.
That's honestly between.
No, and listen, I apologize to Darko and everybody else that was supposed to be on that show. Darko, there's my number. I privately sent it to you. Okay.
All right, cheers. Appreciate it.
Definitely wasn't the Larry and Joe show. That was
now. Sorry, I digest. Back to the topic, coronavirus.
Yeah, I think so. What's going on? I heard they're killing people over there for toilet paper for you. What's going on with that?
All right. So basically, the reason why people are killing each other for toilet paper is the exact same reason why coronavirus started in the first place. It comes down to basic human stupidity. Okay. So how did the virus actually start? How was it created or conceived? The theory strongly pointing in the direction of where and how is fecal to oral. Okay. Now they're saying it came from bats. All right. Now, when certain people of certain cultures eat certain foods in certain ways, certain foods aren't cleaned. For example, when you buy a fish, it's cleaned. The guts are cleaned out from the inside. Yeah. You get the flesh and the bone.
Right.
In certain cultures, such as China, where they're really not allowed to eat bat, but that's a gray area already, they're not cleaned. Their organs are still inside. If their bowels are infected, they still have shit in their bowels, and these people are eating it. Okay. Another example, not long after the first announcement of the coronavirus came public, I was following the news.com website, and they had another similar article from Wuhan where they said baby mice, live baby mice, are a delicacy in that same area. And they had a video of
I've seen
people.
the video, Darko. Yes.
You've seen it. Now,
I've
imagine
seen it when they're coming off the dish. They put it back in and they put it in their freaking mouth. They're dunking soy sauce first.
Yes, no, it's not even soy sauce, right? But these live mice have shit in their system, in their bodies. They're eating shit.
So true. So true.
Okay. Yes. This is the problem. Human stupidity.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude,
I mean,
they're eating bat shit, and that's the craziest shit. Bat shit is the craziest shit. So you should never eat bat shit.
Spreads meningitis. Is it meningitis?
Yes. It's whatever it is. It's no good. It's no good. You're absolutely
meningococcal? Right. No, is it meningococcal disease? I think it is. Meningococcal or
stupid ass disease. That's what
meningitis.
Disease. That's what it is.
What do you expect if fecal matter is excess and waste and toxins from the body of the host that's producing its shit, right? And then you have some idiot eating it, or some idiots eating it.
Yeah. Like it's a delicacy.
And we're talking about two separate biological structures, the human one and the bat one. We're mixing these biological features together, and you're creating an alien. Corona's an alien, right? It's not a natural, normal thing. It hasn't been here for thousands of years. It just got created recently. So that came down to human stupidity, really. You want to eat bat, eat bat. You want to eat mice. Clean the fucking things before you put it in your mouth and make everyone sick. All right. Now to the toilet paper issue. You can't eat it. You can't read it. You can't drink it. Apparently people are using them as masks, which is stupid because even if you wear a mask, you're still exposed. The mask is only there to prevent people from coughing spit on you.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Exactly.
It's an airborne fucking virus, man. You want to wear that stupid mask. Excuse me. You want to wear that silly little thin mask. It's not going to protect you. It'll get in through your eyes, your nose, through the side of the mask.
Yeah, they said it's a waste.
Hmm?
You're right.
It's actually a waste to wear.
It's a waste to wear it. And the problem that's occurring from people starting to wear these masks are the people that actually need them like the doctors, the MS workers, people who are construction. The people actually need these masks, cannot get them because they're so, everybody else clombered them up. There's nothing left for the guys that really need it. And it does,
the
you're
masks,
exactly right.
The
It
masks
doesn't
are
work.
good and necessary for anyone that's ill.
Yes,
Because
exactly
mask.
right.
it's limiting what they're putting
exactly
out.
right.
But
The people that are ill
the
need
best.
it.
Yeah, the people that
It's
are
not
ill.
going to prevent you from getting. You get it through your eyes, whatever it is. Exactly right. You guys make exact good points here because that is so true. That this is people are not using their heads. They're just reacting to something, and they're not reacting in the right way. They're not thinking about it. You do not need masks if you are not sick.
Well, that's
It's
the
not
thing.
gonna get
They're
it from you.
reacting to something that they don't know how to react to. It's
Exactly
not like
right.
this has ever happened. That's what I was saying. In the U.S., we have no thing to go by, except for Mad Max movies and shit. You know what I mean? It's like this, and the seeing what we've seen from coming out of China and stuff. It's horrifying. It's
Yes.
really scary. Them, boarding up apartment buildings and making people stay in there. To Americans, that just blows your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hitting Italy, Italy is a perfect case. Italy is it's a shining example of stupidity and the worst thing you could do. And we started doing it here. And a lot of moves and things that the government's done are just, to me, like so far beyond dumb that they look like they're trying to screw things up. But Italy had a small outbreak, and then the government pushed this narrative of, hey, if you don't, you were talking to Larry, you don't want to go to Chinese restaurants, and you associate it, and you're just weird, and that's the way you're thinking, and that's it. And a lot of people do that. But that's really being pushed as you're a racist. You're a complete huge racist.
No.
And
You're racist. I'm a racist against the virus.
No,
not
but
against Chinese
that's
people.
what people are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying on social media now in the United States.
Right.
But Italy put that forth. Hey, if you're scared of Chinese tourists, you're a racist. And they had an actual paid government-sponsored
That's
ad
ridiculous.
campaign to hug a Chinese tourist.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
go
yeah.
to Chinese tourists and hug them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they made it
I'll
more
freaking tongue
open.
kiss 'em, too.
They were telling people to not be scared. And it was so far on the other side of irresponsible ignorance.
Yes.
There's fear and then
Yes.
there's ignorance.
Yeah.
But Italy hit the ignorance, and then it exploded.
No,
And
that's
now
crazy.
they're hitting it, they're putting, medical martial law. They got troops on the street. It's literally the worst thing that it could have done.
Yeah.
If it just would have been like common sense, don't go out if you don't have to, don't deal with people if you don't have to, wash your hands, all that other stuff. But it wasn't like that. It was, if you don't hug someone from the area where it came from, you're a racist. And it
How
blew up.
stupid is that? I didn't hear that. That's the most ridiculous freaking thing I've heard in a long time, because you're not being racist against the person. You're being racist against a certain virus that's out there, and you're protecting yourself, your family, and anybody else from getting it. So why would they tell you to go hug a Chinese person? I mean, come on, that's crazy.
They had
That's
ads.
like,
They had ads.
This goes back to human stupidity again.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I would agree with that 100%.
In the chat, someone lurking has written, if masks are such a waste, why is everybody in fucking China wearing one? Don't be fucking dumb. Now, the information
The culture
I just relayed back a few minutes ago about the masks not protecting people has come from dozens of medical experts, dozens of medical doctors. So if you think that they're wrong in saying the masks don't actually protect you unless someone spits and coughs spit on you, then who's fucking dumb, dude? Lurking, go do your homework, dude. Seriously.
Yeah.
We had another question here. Just looking for it.
While you look for that one, I just wanted to say what this gentleman from Italy said. Timothy, he said, there's no common meetings, no bars, no driving anywhere, no walking around at this point anywhere. Everyone is so scared. Cops could all go home. Everyone is closed inside.
It's like being in jail.
Keep in mind, all police here have Uzi strapped to their chests.
It's insane, man.
Definition of martial law, right?
And a power man says Trump said China knows what caused the virus, and he does as well.
Just some advice to the viewers and to you guys as well. If you do find yourself in need of essentials such as toilet paper, and all the supermarkets are empty, your next bet is to go to pharmaceutical places and chemists, because people forget about that. They stock toilet paper as well there.
Yes,
So
CVS. Yes. You're
Good
absolutely
point.
correct.
Good point.
yeah. And same with baby formula as well. If anyone needs baby formula, because they've been flying off the shelves at the supermarkets,
Yeah.
chemists, pharmacies. Also, the smaller independent supermarkets don't have limits on how much you can buy of a certain product at the moment, because they're creating for the business.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, if you don't feel panic mode yet, if you don't find the essentials that you need at your local supermarket, because the smaller businesses have heaps of stock. You just got to know who they are and where they are, and that's what I've been doing.
That's one good thing about, there's a huge grocery chain here in Texas and some surrounding states. It's called HEB, and it's like the biggest competitor to Walmart. It's like a much better company, but they focus on buying local stuff. You know what I mean? That's like so much of their thing. They have their own like dairy and all that. It's all in Texas. So they have so much more stuff than, Walmart does, because a lot of their stuff in their supply chain came from, this area. So if you have stores that, or farmers markets, none of that stuff's going away. All those people are still going to have some food,
Yes. Yeah. There's
And
going to be
anybody in the real quick, anybody in the chat, if you have any questions, please ask them. K Ballard, 27. Thank you for being here. MIKK, Apollo Man, Lurkin, Johnny Ringo, Low Roller, Iowa Pizza.
reviews.
A lot of people showing up. Thank you guys for being here. And all we ask is please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and show us some love. That's all we ask. Hopefully you'll get some returns down the road.
In the live chat, Peter Petito is asking, is Joe wearing a thong?
Is Joe wearing a thong? Yeah.
Peter's an old friend of mine, and he likes to bust my chops.
And he also said you can use sandpaper for toilet paper, so you see what type of guy he is, right? you got to really clean your ass with some sandpaper there, Pete.
Nah, Pete's a good guy. Pete's a good guy.
Yeah.
Anybody that drives a Lamborghini is a good guy.
So guys,
by the way, Summer Sunrise, he says, "Hey Joe, how are you, Summer? Thank you for stopping by. Don't think I've seen you here, but welcome. And please hit that subscribe button. And Apollo Man, I know you're a subscriber. And Peter, we love you, brother."
So what else you got, guys? What are you going to say?
Well, Closer, what about you? How's it going over there? I don't know if you can hear me. How's it going over there in Arizona? How they're handling the virus? Are you seeing the virus? Because you're in a warmer climate, so I'm curious to see how it's working over there.
I think he left. He was in his car. He left. He might have got out. He might be eating a scorpion right now. I don't know.
No, he's here.
Don't they put scorpions on
He's
sticks?
here. He's here. There he is.
Closer, what's up, buddy?
Did you hear my question, Closer?
Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. What's going on over there in Arizona?
Oh, yeah, Sunrise. I remember, my fault.
Well, here in Arizona, I mean, we had the Aloha Festival weekend, which has been going on for the past 26 years. We get like about 100,000 people that normally rolls through here, but that got shut down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Costco's. I think most of all the Costco here in Arizona, you're only allowed 2 big rolls per person, no more. But they've been out of supply for the past few days right now.
And Costco got big supplies of big things in there. They got big boxes of shit, man. So you can really get a load full. Is Arizona shutting things down over there? Closer? Is things being shut down? I mean, like you said, the festival's shut down. We shut down here in New York. No St. Patty's Day.
All festivals are shut down. Schools are shut down. My kids are not going to school till next month right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, everything's shutting down, but I'm just kind of looking at this like as a reset. I mean,
yeah.
What was it? Somebody posted a status saying that coronavirus is going to create more bankruptcy than people dying.
Let me tell you, man, if it keeps on going the way it's going, listen, the whole week, the Dow Jones, 2,000 points a day went down. 2,000 points a day.
Well, it's went
Before-
down like 2,000, but it was a few hundred a day.
Yeah.
But it's
went too down, yeah.
unbelievable bad. But it also, I think that shows a correlation, which people have always said was not there, between the traditional markets and the crypto markets, because it's correlated.
I would have to agree.
It's yeah. Shout out to Rob Logia. That's a good friend.
Yes,
of ours,
Rob.
too,
I'm
yes.
sorry, Rob. Listen, if and listen, I went through this chat. I didn't see that we had any kind of meeting.
All right, talk
Yeah,
about that later, Joe. Don't get into that now.
Yeah,
No, I'm
we'll
not
get
now.
into it
But
later.
Rob,
I've
I
got
just
2
want to say
accounts,
I'm
Joe.
sorry, Rob.
I've got 2 accounts on Telegram.
I'd love to
So
say I have.
that's maybe
Joe,
that's maybe what happened. But Rob, we
Yeah.
want you on here, brother. We want you on here. We do.
I don't know
So-
though, man. Rob and Darko together,
That's some crew, right? Those guys.
That's crazy.
No, let me tell you,
The apocalypse.
Rob,
The
John
dark side.
McAfee, and Janice, that's some kind of crew right there.
Dude, they're just talking about fucking chickens. That's all that just
And
talking about
whales
fucking
and
chickens.
donkeys.
and
Why would you fuck a
donkeys. Yeah,
chicken?
don't ask, dude.
Wow.
I'm just warning you. If Rob is on here with Darko, don't ask that question.
About chickens?
Yeah, don't ask about fucking chickens, because you'll lose control right
Are
away.
you saying
man.
fucking chickens or actually fucking chickens?
Actually fucking chickens?
Nah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And donkeys and
Yes,
whales.
I know.
And
that-
whales.
yeah,
I know McAfee likes the whale fucking. I know that.
That's
And
crazy.
sheep fucking as well.
Sheep.
sheep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because Darko's from. They do it up there.
Hey, if it
I'm
makes
not from there. I'm close to there. They're
Yeah,
New
but-
Zealanders.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
What-
New
I didn't
Zealand.
say-
Maybe,
Look at that guy.
guys,
He's a
maybe-
chicken fucker.
he's,
Chicken
guys,
fucker.
maybe while we're talking, everybody in the chat, if you want to, maybe just say where you're from, and maybe you could quickly say like what you're like. For instance, Summer Sunrise says he's from Maryland. All schools closed. Maybe you could just say where you're from and if anything drastic that your state's doing to like prevent this virus. That might help us a lot.
Something that when I was talking about the supply chain breaking down, this was a couple of weeks ago. Bitcoin Ben had talked about this, and I had been talking to him about the whole situation. But he was a truck driver, and my nephew's a truck driver, and there's this insight to the supply chain. And weeks ago, the big metal containers that come in
Yes.
on ships,
Yes.
and then they get loaded on trains, and mainly in train yards, and they get loaded on trucks in the train yards.
People are actually making houses out of them now.
Right,
yes.
but that's the thing. They have these fields where they store the empty ones until they go back, and they're like supposed to hold like 500 or something, but they're like 500 or 600% over capacity because they haven't sent any of these containers back.
Oh my God.
Which that's when they said something's up. Something's gonna gonna fall apart because we're supposed to get more in and get these empties sent back, and none of the empties are going back. The Amazon hub in Austin, they had like 2 drivers because that's all they needed because they're running out of stuff in their warehouses.
Wow.
Wanted to hit on the conspiracy thing. And whenever I go over conspiracy stuff, I don't like to say this is what I think or this is what it is. This is just facts, and you make up your own mind. Now, I mean, we went.
This is a conspiracy. But go ahead.
The bat thing was the first thing, and then bat and snake mix, and it all came out of Wuhan.
Yeah.
And then there's been, but when the virus came out of China and went into non-horrible communist government-controlled countries, the scientists there all said, "This looks really man-made. It looks like a combination of SARS and AIDS. That's what it looks like. They can use HIV medication on it, and it works really well. But it definitely looks created. It doesn't look like it's something that just was mutated. And everyone knows Wuhan has 2 of China's biggest bioweapons research labs.
Facilities,
there.
Yep.
So, but then that's also really, really easy. And it also fucked China's economy. It screwed a lot of their people. But the main thing is it screws their economy. I can understand them killing their people and screwing their people. but it hurt their economy.
Yeah.
So if another nation wanted to do that, Wuhan would have been a great place to unleash it. And then it spreads across the world. And like we'd made the point, the people it kills are old people and sick people. And those are the two biggest groups of people that are the most expensive to every government there is.
You hit it on the head, bro.
You're either you're not working, you're retired and happy,
Yeah.
but you're not producing for the machine, and you're not a tax revenue, or you're sick and you're a drag on the system and costing money. And it's wiping those. Plus, you're more conservative, and you've been around to know how things used to be before we gave up a lot of our rights and a lot of our privacies. And all those people, if this gets wiped out, it's a eugenics person, their dream. It really is. So that's just what we know, and some of the weird things.
Hey, Sean,
That's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
what if we gave the Chinese people who eat these contaminated bat foods, dirty foods, a slap in the face? And what if we called it, instead of coronavirus, we call it Chinese Wuhan flu?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's what's fucking scary. Because I posted on this in my personal stuff. I was watching Fox, and they started calling it the Chinese coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, we need to guard against these foreign invading viruses. They totally politicized it, and they did totally push it to spin it. And they even hit the communist Chinese, they said it over and over again. And this was on Fox News.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just sounds so bad.
Well, it's just out of control. It's killing everybody. I mean, they're people too, like you're saying. It's going all over the place. And to touch base real quick on what you guys were also talking about was these animals that they're eating that are still alive, which is where the problem is they have a place in Wuhan over there and in China called the wet markets. You guys heard of the wet markets?
Yeah.
The wet markets where the people go in there and it's all the freaking animals in it are alive. And you just pick out what you want and you freaking eat them.
But the live ones are next to the dead ones as well.
Yeah. And now they showed the mice that you were talking about before, little baby mice on dish sheet, but also fish on a dish. The fish is there and it's still freaking moving and they're just dipping into it, eating it. Monkey brains, they're eating monkey brains, they're eating all sorts of things that what Darko was talking about before, that these animals have crap in them. They have shit. They have diseases in them already.
I mean, that's how the Black Plague spread. It was mice, rats.
You're eating shit.
It's not like llama shit or some kind of it's rat shit and bat shit.
One guy was actually grabbing a rat and taking his head, and you see him pulling and eating it. Come on, dog. You see them in the street, you run away from it. You don't get bit by the damn thing. Now you're biting and eating it. This is a problem. Yeah, you don't want to get bit by a rat.
You got to come to New York, clean up some of our freaking rat problem.
Yeah, these freakers are eating them. You don't need a cat. Get a Chinese guy to come over and eat your freaking. It's crazy.
Hey guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. But there's a topic about this that no one's really discussed yet. I'm surprised the news hasn't even brought it up yet. But I've noticed an indiscrepancy in the data. But I'll be back in 2 minutes, and I want to get your guys' opinion about it as well.
Yeah, all right, dude, while you do that, I'm going to go through the chat because the chat's going crazy. So I'll go do your thing. So Timothy says he's from Yonkers, but he's stuck in Italy now. Sorry to hear that. That kind of sucks. I thought he was from Italy.
No, he goes back and forth, 6 months there, 6 months here. I remember talking to him. Yeah, he goes back and forth. He spends his time there. He comes back.
Lee's wife was going to Dubai today. And last night he was freaking out because he was like, man, I don't want her to go if it's not safe. And he's like checking stuff and making phone calls. And I said, dude, what if she goes over there, but then it's like gets locked down and she can't come back? He goes, yeah, dude, I just thought of that too.
That's a big problem.
So there's a lot.
Now is not the time to travel.
Now you got to make that decision. You're absolutely right, Joe. Now you got to make the decision. Do you want to go somewhere? And is it important to go somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Now, I talked about it on my show the other night, showing about the guy that was supposed to be sent to Italy on a business trip. His boss wants him to go to Italy on a business trip. Do I have to go? Am I getting in trouble? No, freaking, you don't have to go. You don't have to go because you know what? There's a national freaking emergency here. People are countries are being shut down. Things are being stopped. If somebody's trying to send you to another country for a business meeting, tell them there's things like Zoom, there's telephones. And I don't think that you have a leg to stand on.
You hit it on the head with Zoom.
Yeah, this is perfect. You can have a meeting like this. Come on, dude.
Look, we have 6 people here from all over the world. You know, these Chinese people, they could have the teacher run the class, and the students all they need is a phone or a computer. You know, so you could really get away with it if you have to. You know, by podcasting
Joe,
it.
there's one point, and this is when people make that like, oh, it's the future. It's not really the future. It's the present, and blah blah blah.
No.
When it comes to what we're doing, this is the easiest thing to monitor and to control. What governments and haven't been able to control through history is people meeting in secret, people meeting in basements of pubs, and that's how governments are overthrown, is by people doing that, those meetings there. Yes. And by making it where it's all digital and all meetings take place where it's easily accessed, easily controlled, and easily viewed, takes that massive power away from the masses.
Good point. Great point.
I'm trying to suck that one in. Yeah, you're absolutely. It's so true.
No, it's so true.
Yeah,
Johnny
the way
Ringo,
you said that, it was like kind of like, oh, okay.
Johnny Ringo says, "Does it take about 10 years to kill AIDS?" Johnny Ringo, I think if you have AIDS and you're taking your medicine, you could live 20, 30, 40 years. Look at Magic Johnson. As far as curing it, I think I just heard not too long ago that they cured 2 people from actually that had AIDS, and they actually cured them. So I think we're getting better on that front, but there's
that's a whole nother conspiracy show, man.
Yeah, it's a whole nother, exactly.
Do you remember when Mike Tyson got AIDS?
No.
Yeah,
remember when he bit Holyfield's ear off.
No, I remember Mike. You can't even really find information on it. You got to look hard. He had AIDS for 2 months.
Tyson.
And
now he has no AIDS?
After 2 months, it was a mistake. 2
Wow.
months. Mike Tyson, not an average guy. Mike Tyson. Tons of tests, doctors.
Was that Tyson in his prime?
In his prime.
When he was so that's when he was making big money.
Yep.
So what are you actually saying here? Was it true? Wasn't it true? He got cured? Like, what's the whole point that you're saying that? I want to understand what you're saying, Sean.
Well, I'm saying when I was like a young adult, old kid, Mike Tyson had AIDS, and then it went away after 2 months, and now nobody wants to talk about it.
Okay, so my question about that is, did he really have AIDS?
Yeah, I mean, he said he had AIDS. Doctor said he had AIDS. There had to be multiple tests. It's Mike Tyson.
Okay, so
and then 2 months later, they said, "Oh, it was a mistake."
Sounds like you got to remember that's when he was in his prime, making 20, 30 million a fight, which
but
nowadays is $100 million a fight.
There's a lot more people have a lot more money than him too to have AIDS too.
No. But back then it was a lot different.
Yeah, and also they're not dead.
Mm.
All the rich
guys,
people aren't dead.
Yep. Here we go, Darko. What do you got, bud?
I just want to give a big shout out to Xanthi from New York. She's a big fan as well, so big shout out. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Now,
thank you.
Before I took a brief intermission, I mentioned there was an interesting topic I wanted to bring up related to the coronavirus issue that no one has spoken about, no one's mentioned in the news.
Are you going to say that Nouriel Roubini started it? Because, man, okay, I can see you saying that.
No, I didn't think of that. But
I'm just fucking.
I'm being for real.
Fucking with you, dude. I know you love that guy.
I'm being for real. I'm being for real now. There has been no mention of any midgets contracting the virus. None. Right? Or correct me if I'm wrong.
I haven't heard anything of a midget, but I don't know what size you have to be a midget. Like how
4 foot 10. 4 foot 10.
As tall as a Peruvian, pretty much.
4 foot 10.
4'6"?
4'10" is the guideline. If you're over 4'10", you're not.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a Chinese midget.
I mean, I think I've been to midget throwing contests, but I'm wondering like what the size you consider a midget. Like how tall you gotta be. Like Sean, you don't look that tall.
4'10". If you're 4'10", you're not.
Sean,
You're not
Sean,
a
how
midget.
tall are you, Sean? Are you a midget?
I'm 6'1".
Yeah, you're definitely a large midget.
So basically, I think a midget is the average height of a Peruvian. right? Now,
I never met a pavilion. I don't know.
so what I'm getting at here is, and I'm being legit now, right? All jokes
Okay.
aside,
Yeah.
midgets or dwarfs, as they call them, are actually immune to diabetes and cancer. Okay. The reason for this being is they have a condition. It's called the Laron condition, and it's a biological cellular thing where their bodies are missing the activation cell for cancer cells. So they can drink and smoke all they like all their lives. They'll never get cancer.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, you can look this up. And it's scientific fact. It's not a conspiracy or a rumor. It's actual science.
Okay.
Right? But I have not heard of any midgets being infected by the coronavirus at all. So if the virus was to keep mutating, okay, and midgets are immune to it, let's say it mutates to a point where it's like worse than the mass plague, we all die, then the world will be run by midgets and Peruvians.
it'll be like the Wizard of Oz, the fucking lollipop kids.
So, like, and if that's the case, before we all die, if there are any midgets watching, please contact myself or Rob, because we've been looking for a midget for the Crypto Freak Show for a very, very long time. Joe, what's your take on that with their biological defense mechanism?
Well,
There is one, or we just haven't heard yet?
I go ahead, Joe.
No, you go first.
You know,
Well, first of all,
it's coming out, Darko. I'm getting it out there because midgets have small respiratory areas. This disease or this virus infects your respiratory area. I think their respiratory area is so small, it doesn't have a chance to get there. And plus, they're lower than everybody else, so everybody higher is getting it before them. That's what I think.
I mean, a midget, I wonder what the ratio is like from a regular, what we consider a regular human being, adequate size.
They're regular human beings.
No, I know, but what I meant is
they're just that
we would consider
Tyrion Lannister
size.
is about to kick in the door and like punch him in the face, man.
Forget bite your kneecap.
What we would consider people that are regular size compared to what we would consider people midgets, what's that ratio? Is it like 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000? Because if it's like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000, then you could see maybe why midgets haven't got it yet.
Right.
But as far as like this cancer thing and stuff like that, shit, if I was a midget and I knew I couldn't get cancer, I'd be smoking like 10 packs of cigarettes a day. And they do. They do. That is true. I do see a lot of midgets, and they're always smoking. That is actually a very good point.
They're like cigars. You ever seen them hold a cigar in their fingers? It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's bigger than them.
Yeah, so you get a Cuban, they got two of them got to hold it.
Yeah, true story, right? I had a friend, he's a much older guy, and he always wondered what it would be like to sleep with a midget. And then one day the opportunity presented itself to him, and he proceeded with it. And he thought, awesome, I'm going to see what it's like. He got really excited about the whole process. So then it happened, and I said to him, so how'd it go? And he goes, never again. I asked him why. And he goes, it felt like I was fucking a child.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. Yeah, that's come on. That's I mean, fidget are people too. Midgets, fidgets, they're people too. So I respect them. I like them. It's all good. But they're different, and everybody's different. We're all different.
Listen, midgets got to get some love too, man. Come on.
Yeah,
10%, dude.
10%. Your friend did a good deed.
I watch Little People, Big World on TV. I like
10% of the population, dude. 10% of the population is midgets. That's a lot of people.
Oh, so is it 10%?
I didn't know it was that much. Yeah, that's
wow. Well,
so Sean,
the coin. Go ahead, Darko.
Yeah, Sean, do you think that dwarfs have an immunity to the virus? I mean, they got immunity to diabetes and cancer, but none have been infected so far.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I don't know where. Honestly, on a true stone here, I don't know like where the facts and stuff come from, but this virus does not discriminate against anybody.
We don't know. It might discriminate against dwarfs now. Darko said that.
It might not. We don't know. I mean, but I don't think it discriminates anybody. I think it just hits people harder who are older and people with respiratory disease.
Yeah, but
problems.
Larry, I got a notification from John McAfee's Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't get to read the whole sentence because I didn't click on it.
Yeah.
But I saw he wrote something like, "There's been no black people infected." Is that true?
Wow, I didn't hear that
I
either.
don't know either. I don't know where he's. I don't know where.
Yeah,
he's coming
I'm
from.
sure none of the people in Africa are black that have it.
Or in China.
Actually, no. You know what? It just hit Nigeria. The dude
Did
had
it?
it. The dude tested positive. A week later, he tested negative, and it's like this big deal. They're talking about how nothing can survive in Nigeria, but it's Nigerian people making the joke. So yeah, but one guy did get it, and he was found negative after like
Yeah, but
a week or two.
was he white or was he actually black?
He's black because he's from Nigeria.
Well, not
Yeah,
all
but-
people from Nigeria are black first. And
you
real
know,
quick,
it's
yeah,
pretty
you don't know.
pretty good bet you're gonna run into the black person in Nigeria.
And real quick, what's up, Louis? My buddy Louis in the chat, man. Good friend of mine, Louis. What's going on?
Yeah, I
Louis?
just
Good
wanted to
hear
go
from you,
through the
buddy.
chat real
What's
quick
going
because we
on?
got a lot of people here, and this
Big
is
Lou.
great. I really appreciate all you guys being here and hanging out with us. This is what we really do this for, guys, is to get all you guys here and have a conversation like we're having now. So,
That's right. Real quick, Joe, before you hit that, I want to just touch real quick. You're right. The guy from the Utah Jazz was black and he did get the virus. So, yes, they do get
Okay.
it. And
okay.
yes.
Someone in the chat wrote it was Timothy Fritsch, if I said that correctly.
Yeah, he's in Italy right now.
He wrote, take it another step. Down syndrome people are they are in.
A good question, Timmy. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
I don't
mean,
know.
look, if dwarfism or whatever the case is, if these people are immune to this disease, then the first place I would start looking to try to find not an antidote. What do you call it?
A cure? A freaking
A cure.
vaccine?
There you go. A cure. I would start looking that route and seeing why aren't they catching it, and what can we do to fix that.
Joe, I tell you now, if any Chinese government officials are watching this stream, the amount of midget kidnappings in China are going to go through the roof, and it's going to be all our faults.
There's going to be none left.
They're going to disappear. A strange disappearance of little people.
Thanks to the Larry and Joe show. Huh?
Thanks to Larry and Joe shows, right?
Joe show wiped the China of midgets. Oh my God, that's crazy.
A lot of good comments here in the chat, and then the coin. You had a couple things that you want me to show, which I'll show. I didn't forget about you.
Big Mike says Easter's going to be canceled. Next big
Apollo
big
Man says an ex-Israeli intelligence, the best intelligence in the world, said this virus is man-made. Exactly, it's Russia. I'm thinking that. Big Mike said Florida, no fans allowed in PGA golf tournaments. At St. Pete Grand Prix, all of the sports suspended. Grocery stores starting to close earlier and earlier. City and state of emergency along with the state. I spoke to a Chinese guy, and they have been doing that for a long time, eating that crap. Johnny Ringo, what if we called it the Forcer's virus? That's true. We could do that.
Well, how about what Kurt Jones says, Joe? Kurt Jones says North Korea is the only country not infected. How do we know when he shot missile off in December and January didn't have the virus?
Yeah, he didn't spray it in the air.
Because they travel all over the world. And North Korea, the freaking Kim Jong-un guy, right? Shooting missiles all over the place. He could have been dropping some tablets down.
Yeah, but if he would have done that, I mean, China's like, without China, they would have dried up a long time ago. So a lot of it doesn't make sense for for anyone to. I mean, it does kind of make sense that they lost control of it in China. That's probable. They had it in one of those labs and it got loose. That makes kind of sense. Or that another country let it loose because of how bad it screwed their economy.
Pete's funny.
But Russia was one of the most on top of it. They're border China, and they closed their borders down. They had serious border control. They pushed education, and they have 0 deaths.
Wow, that's incredible.
They have 20 cases. All 20 cases are tourists, Russian tourists that were in Italy.
That came back and brought it.
Yeah, so without that, they would have no cases in Russia.
Wow, that is
Got
crazy.
somebody under control right now.
I just want to give a big shout out, Lee Benke. He's from Apollo Coin.
Lee!
The reason I say that is there was we had like a little argument. I asked Apollo, hey, you guys want to do a show one day? We get a bunch of you guys back on, because we one day had a show of like 50 of them on at once, and it worked out beautiful. So I was trying to set something up like that, and a troll came in and just started like cursing me out and bashing me, and I didn't realize it was a troll, so I just went right back at him. And Lee, now I understand everything, but I appreciate you at least coming here and saying what's up. It means a lot to me. You know, I like the coin. I love the coin. I like what you guys are doing. And I would still love to have a bunch of you guys come on here. You know, you guys were all great, all gentlemen, and we had a great show with you guys. Right, Larry?
Yes. Oh, we love Apollo. I love Lee too. Lee's an awesome dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
Again, whatever happened to you guys, I don't know. Wasn't sure, but yeah, Daniel Winder too. Daniel Winder or Winder. We definitely remember you, Daniel. How you doing? Good to see you. A lot of people chopping in, Joe, that we haven't seen in a while.
I know, it's awesome, man. I'm loving it.
Remember them all.
I'm loving it.
There was a news thing recently, a few days ago, in Greece. The Orthodox Church came under fire because there was a priest doing a service, and he was telling everybody at the mass, if you really want to be safe from the virus, come see me. I'm going to create a superior holy water. Bring me a little jar, and every time you meet someone, spray a little bit of the holy water on your hands, on your face, in your mouth, and you'll be safe, because it's my superior holy water. And if it runs down low, don't freak out. Just add more water, and it will reproduce the holiness.
Do you have somebody earpiece feeding you this shit, Darko? Because you're coming out with that stuff pretty good. I don't know. That's pretty good. I don't know.
This is the kind of crap I got to put up with from the mainstream media globally, dude. And this is the stuff that's so relevant to this topic today.
It seems like Darko during these bad times could make millions of dollars if he really wanted to.
They're coming out with a lot of shit. Eat 3 gummy bears a day and you can be ward off the freaking virus. You know, do this, do that. Stand on your head and drink milk and put an Oreo cookie up your ass and you won't get the virus.
Well, that works. That does work. My cousin's friend did it. Yeah,
but you need a bidet to wash it out when you're done, right?
Like sex is an immune system booster, so people should be having as much sex as possible for 2 reasons: A, an immune system booster, and B, you don't know if it's going to be the last one before you die. So, you know, people should be making love as much as possible. And I was recently watching, a little bit off topic here, watching an interview with a doctor on the Joe Rogan show, and this guy,
best show ever.
Yeah, this guy said that the human body starts to break down, and its tolerance to health issues and toxic abuse and whatnot, wear and tear, starts to drop when the body believes it's stopped reproducing babies. So basically, our tolerance level to health issues is pretty good all our lives. We get the occasional flu, but things that are more serious, the body can't fight off anymore, means your body hasn't been acting in a way that's still reproducing, right? Basically fucking. So once the fucking stops, the body thinks, all right, you're not needed in this planet anymore. And you start getting sick.
Wow.
This is coming from a doctor.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah, and we can use the word intercourse too if you want. Intercourse.
Daniel Winder.
Who's your daddy?
Or as John McAfee said in a tweet a few weeks ago.
That's who's your daddy?
Larry, Daniel Winder says, I remember you're both from New York. Heard it's really bad there, I guess he wrote. Yeah, it's starting to get a little worse and worse, Daniel. Buses and trains are still going, but they're telling people to stay off them. We're slowly like getting to that level. I think where eventually, if we start seeing more cases, we're probably going to get like a shutdown or something like that.
Well, today's post, I had a big picture of the Empire State Building with a big sign that said, "We're closed." The whole New York is closed. The Broadway's closed down. No St. Patty's Day parade this year. Businesses with 500 people or more. No gatherings. No concerts. Everybody's pretty much starting to shut down, but we're still moving along.
Is
it's
Philly
going.
is Philly having the Mummers Parade?
Excuse me?
Is Philly going to have the Mummers Parade?
Say that again?
Is Philly
going to have the Mummers Parade? When is the parade?
Well, who's here from Philly, Sean?
I don't know. I'm asking you because you're a lot closer than I am.
I don't.
Well, Sean, the reason I ask you that is
I'm in New York, dude. I have Philly. I don't know.
There's something called the Chiller Fest, which is it's once a year. It's like a convention, and a lot of like old the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street, he goes there. Robert Englund, Jason goes there, and people go there to meet him and get autographs. It's called the Chiller, and it's in April 24th, so a month and a half away. And my dad was gonna go, and I was gonna go meet him out there. We had
Where's it at?
It's in Jersey.
Yeah, down the shore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and guess what? They canceled it already. They canceled it.
My cousin owned a haunted house on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and they would have like massive like parades, and she did all the makeup and everything. You know,
a lot of things are hurting a lot of people. See now, your cousins go to do mass, whatever it is. Things being shut down, you don't realize, it's just being shut down. There's a lot of people involved in this stuff. There's a lot of people involved that, used to do this and do that, or say truck drives, this and that. When things start shutting down, it doesn't just affect one little thing. It affects a lot of people. It starts doing a snowball effect. Because now, too, those people that aren't working and things are shut down, they're not spending their money. They're not getting their hair cut.
Well, there's also, I was reading today, there's like people that, because they shut down the rodeos and some other fairs, and there's people like, they have like vendors, and they're like, I make all my money in these 4 shows for the year, and they just cancel these 4 shows. So 2020 is done. I have to get a job. I'm like freaking out, because every year they do these 4 shows and they make enough to pay them up for the year.
Wow, that's insane. Crazy. Now there's people taking a lot of hard hits. And the Coin, are you still there? Did you fall asleep yet? Are you still there?
Yep, still here, man.
All right, good. Coin's got some good stuff he wants to go through. And Coin, right before we do, I just want to say, Big Mike said, that's another thing. The Catholic diocese are telling people it is not a sin if you don't go to church this month. They're giving a special dispensation.
Get out of church free cards.
Yeah, it's a pass. It's like
So you don't have to go to church this month, guys.
Yeah. So see, there's another large $1 million company telling you it's okay not to come and spend your money because that basket goes around. So they're doing away with this stuff. That's when shit's serious now. I thought it was serious when all the sports stuff closed. All these people saying, we're not going to make money now. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Now when the Catholic Church is telling you don't come and put money in that basket, this shit's serious. It's serious.
Here's one thing before I bring the Coin up. That every NBA stadium was fitted with 5G connections. So, for instance, like 4G cell service, these towers are miles away from each other. And, that's how you get your service. A tower, let's say one tower goes down, then the other tower will pick up the rest of the information, but they're miles away. For 5G to work, they actually have to be, I think, 300 yards away from each other. So they outfitted most NBA stadiums with this 5G technology, and people were speculating that may be why they shut down a lot of the stadiums. Now, of course, obviously, a big group of people in one place is probably the main reason, but if 5G is really causing this to happen, this is something that's crazy, and that's what a lot of people are thinking. It's because of this 5G technology. James Valentin says Obama sold non-modified version of the virus to Xi Jinping in 2015. I don't know if anybody could confirm that or not, but if Obama sold a non-modified version of this virus in 2015, that is absolutely insane. So, Coin, we got you here, the Coin. I'm going to pull up what you sent me.
He does have one of the biggest virus collections, I heard.
Who?
Obama, that and Hummels. Tons of Hummels.
Does he really?
And Star Trek memorabilia.
Oh my God! And
All right,
man, just fucking
freaking blow up dolls.
All right, the first thing I got here, guys, this is from the Coin. Coin, you could say hello to everybody.
Hello, guys. What's up?
All right, this is called the Event 201, a global pandemic exercise. And maybe you could just briefly summarize what's going on here.
Well, it was basically like you can read it right now. This Event 201. So,
do you want me to read it?
Yeah, if you want, you can.
Okay. The Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, hosted Event 201. Why is Bill Gates always involved in something like this? A high-level pandemic exercise on October 18, 2019 in New York. The exercise illustrated areas where public-private partnerships will be necessary during the response to a severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic social consequences. In recent years, the world has seen a growing number of epidemic events, amounted to approximately 200 events annually. These events are increasing and they are disruptive to health, economies, and society. Managing these events already strain global capacity, even absent a pandemic threat. Experts agree that it's only a matter of time before one of these epidemics become global, a pandemic which with potentially catastrophic consequences. A severe pandemic which becomes Event 201 would require reliable cooperation among several industries, national governments, and key international institutions. And guys, this was just about 4 months ago this happened. So this could be, so you're saying that this could be Event 201 right now?
No, according to what I understood in regards of what President Trump's speech was today, I believe this is rolling out. It's not just rolling out in the United States. It rolled out before in Italy. It rolled out today as well here in Portugal. So I believe this is going to be a global phenom. You know, it's all about. I believe it's all about the medical quarantine. You know, the quarantine. What's it called again? Not the medical quarantine. It's
martial law.
Yeah, medical martial law. That's what it's all about. Because we have to understand, these last 2 days they have been terrible. Basically, all the economic system around the world is collapsed. Do you really believe that the 401ks are still there in the United States, or the pension funds all over the world? It's all gone with all this bullshit.
Well, I think all of us in crypto have been ready for that. And other people have been ready for that. You know what I mean? But what we weren't ready for was this. This is a curveball, and this is a lot like 9/11 was.
Yeah,
people willingly and happily gave up so many freedoms for security and for, to find our enemies and crush them. And people are just happily giving up so much stuff they wouldn't if it wasn't for this. It's just fear. They're fear, and they're happily giving it up, that's the scary thing to me. Because once you give up freedoms, you don't get them back.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to go to this. So this was Event 201. We covered that. Now, this is a book by Sylvia Brown, End of Days. Could somebody tell if somebody could just check when this book came out?
2008. 2008.
Okay. This girl in 2008. Listen to this, guys. Could I make this bigger? Yeah, good. All right. So he highlighted this. you have to go back 20 months. It was around then that a Chinese scientist named Li Chen defected to the United States carrying a diskette record of China's most important and dangerous new biological weapons in a decade. They call the stuff Wuhan 400. Holy shit. Because it was developed at the rDNA labs outside of the city of Wuhan, and it was the 400th viable strain of a man-made microorganism created at that Wuhan 400. That's pretty incredible. And she predicted that in 2008. And then listen to this, in 2008. In around 2020, God, we gotta get this lady on. Hey, we gotta get her here.
She
I
died.
think
She
she's
died.
dead. Yeah, she's dead.
She died 17 years ago.
Oh, somebody wiped her out.
7 years
Yeah,
ago.
no, she predicted her own death, and then they just freaking took her out.
Yeah, definitely. In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish quickly as it arrived, attack again years later, and then disappear completely. You know, Larry, that goes back to, like you said, like with the swine flu.
Mhm.
Like, where the fuck did that go?
Yep, it was dead and it was gone.
It was there and then it was gone. You know, but
Well,
how,
you know,
she was dead
also-
on with that prediction.
Yeah,
that was pretty
she
dead
was-
on right
In
there.
1981, right? So how do you come up with 2020? How'd you come up this year?
well, she was also dead on with the Ebola virus. She said that a flesh-eating bacteria virus or something was going to come out,
Unbelievable.
and that was like 3 years or 4 years before that happened. So there's a lot of weird stuff there.
We got to get a psychic on the show. We have to. I have to get a psychic on the show. I have to.
I'm a psychic.
You're a sidekick.
Sorry, I got the word confused. I meant psychotic. Sorry.
Psychotic.
there
That's
you
like
go.
what you
That's
said.
right. That's
I
what
didn't
we're
want to
getting
say
at.
that, Darko. I'm glad you said that, buddy.
You can say anything you want to me.
I remember when I
man.
was a kid and my mom said that I was going to go to a therapist, and I saw the card and I read it. I was like, this woman is a rapist.
Why?
She's
Was it
like,
for a manicure and a pedicure?
No, it's the rapist. That's how you spell therapist. But I was freaked out, dude. I was so freaked out. Then I go there. She's like, hey, you want to play with these toys? I'm like, nah, lady. Just going to sit here. I got my eye on you.
If she was hot, you would have said, here I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She had one leg and one eye. You're like, nah, I'm watching you. But, you know,
Yeah,
she's
Big
hot.
Big Mike said that was from 1981. So 40, she predicted something 40 years, almost exactly to the T.
Yeah.
A pneumonia-like virus. And she said it's just going to disappear. I hope it just disappears. And then Apollo Man, thank you. Apollo Man, you've been here the whole chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Big Mike, that book you're talking about, yes, The Eyes of Darkness, that was actually a fictional book. And somebody showed me that, and it did have the same kind of predictions in it. Now, this was a fictional book called The Eyes of Darkness, Joe. I don't know if you heard about it.
No, I didn't. I heard of David Knutz, but I never heard of the book. Should I read it?
It's actually a fictional book. Well, the one section in it talks about this disease, too, that happened now. And that book was written back in 1981.
Well, you know, Joe, you asked about the swine flu and how things, they come up and they disappear. And if you just take a step back and you think about it, all the things that have happened, there could be tests to see where we're at if it comes to the big picture of like a takeover. Now, I don't know if you remember this, it was under Obama, and they were doing these drills where they were going into to cities and doing urban warfare drills. The military was, and people were saying, "This is it. This is. There's this plan. This is Obama's going to take over America," and blah 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 blah. And it toured through social media, and it was like conspiracy theory. It was they were saying, "Everyone, you're nuts." But there was a lot of things that made sense. And then Texas happened. Now, we have the largest military base here. And what had happened, now this is factual. You can look this up. This is what happened. it was the military working with law enforcement for riots, pandemics, if the country ever fell to shit, how the government would take over. But it was just a drill. And everyone was up in arms, and there was a lot of people, saying that it was either going to happen or it was a test. But these government agency people, I don't forget what it was, CIA, FBI, or what, but they took Texas Rangers, and they said, we're, working in partnership, and they showed them rail cars with shackles that were in it. And then they showed them stuff that did lend credence. And then there was the crazy guy, Alex Jones. That's when he found the hundreds of thousands of those plastic coffins. Was
Wow.
when all this was going on.
Wow,
But
wow.
they showed this to the Texas
Well, the FEMA
Rangers.
camps or whatever.
Wait, plastic coffins. What happened with that exactly?
Well,
No,
hold on.
because I know I'm
So then-
not
hold
a
on,
fan
hold on.
of Alex Jones, but I know
yeah,
who he is.
Yeah, but so then they showed this stuff to the Texas Rangers, and they wanted to give them orders, but the Texas Rangers went straight to the governor, and they said, "Hey, man, there's all this crazy stuff, but this is what we have found. This is what they've told us." So the governor of Texas, now you can look all this up. The governor of Texas came out and said, "This is odd, federal government. You're not going to get away with this in Texas," and he called up the Texas Guard to shadow all U.S. troops on their maneuvers. He literally took a stand and said, "Our troops are going to follow your troops, and if you try anything, we're going to kill you." I mean, it's just for, we're going to observe, but he said that's it. Texas troops are going to follow all United States troops on this and see what you're doing. And Obama came out and said, Texas, they're crazy. That's insane. Can you believe? I mean, he was talking so much shit about Texas, but they pulled the exercise as soon as that happened.
Wow.
But but a lot of people said that was a test. How far could they push until something would break down? And same with the swine flu. There wasn't the toilet paper hysteria. There wasn't all that. So it went away. And now this happens. And now how far do people go? How far can they push it? How many rights are we going to give up before this disappears? It seems like every one of these actions is a test. And we go further and further every time we're tested.
Yeah, but test by who? Because it's happening in so many countries. I can see if it's just happening here. So this country is testing us.
The end goal for a lot of that stuff is just a world government, complete takeover, complete, one government, one rule.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's always been the goal.
Yeah, and this is one way to see when can we do it. We couldn't do it here. We couldn't do it here. When are people going to be scared enough to give it up, so that we don't have to? They don't want to fight for it. You have to hand it over, this appears to be a pretty good way to accomplish that feat.
Well, they're accomplishing a lot of things. I'll tell you that right now, because they're killing people. They're making people sick. They're closing down businesses. They're closing down sports. Nobody can watch sports. So there's a lot of they're running out of toilet paper. So there's a lot of things being accomplished here. Okay, but
Darko,
what are they? The whole accomplished thing is what's the end result of it?
What was Larry talking about? There's people shooting each other over in Australia.
Just toilet paper.
It was a manner of speech. They're not literally shooting each other. It's like they're all going so crazy. They're getting into fights at shopping centers.
Yeah.
It's at first I thought it was the hoarding was due to people intending on self-isolating for a month or two. Mm-hmm. When I went to get my stash of necessities, I wasn't sure if I was doing the same thing. But after the last couple of weeks, I'm realizing now that the fuss isn't so much about self-isolation. It's more about people buying so much of certain products that when you need them, they're not going to be there. So when you do find it, you will buy in excess of it so you don't miss out when you actually need it and it's not there.
Yeah, that's what I was telling everyone. That's why, I feel like...
and then the people that are trying to get it will pay more money than anything. Well, how much more money will you pay for a roll of toilet paper if you can't only get one?
I'll tell you an answer to that question. So I went to my local chemist last week and bought a pack of toilet paper for $27, right? It was a fair bit. And then I told a friend of mine that I found a place that was selling them. They had them available. He said to me, can you go get me a stash as well for $27? The next day when I went back there, they raised the price up to $58.
Yep. Price
Listen,
gouging.
Darko, what if I ship you a bunch of this shit? Could we make some money off it?
Well, if we can find it cheap enough, yeah. But the thing is, they're all jacking up their prices now. So it's like Bitcoin at $1. We missed
For
the
this
boat.
thing, I got 20 rolls for $14 for 20 rolls.
Dude, there's people selling one roll for $500 on the internet. There's one dude who sold
What the
a
fuck are we
six-pack
doing?
of rolls for $21,000. They were bids.
Wait,
No
on,
shit.
on eBay?
I think it was eBay.
Oh, I'm going on eBay right after this.
That's insane, man.
So,
That's crazy.
and one other thing, I don't think, unless I wasn't paying attention, but I don't think anyone's brought it up yet in this stream, is the correlation between its impact on the traditional markets and the cryptocurrency markets.
Yeah, I did. I brought it up, and it also, I think, shows now the correlation between traditional markets and crypto markets. But
So what's your take on that?
I'll tell you, but I wanted to ask you something or to say something. I was talking to Lee last night. He was, calling about traveling. His friend said he went to get gas in Ireland, and he was all freaked out. He goes, there was people at the gas station with guns. And I'm like, yeah, that's Texas. He's like, no, it was Ireland. I was like, really? He goes, yo, no, it's insane. There's business owners that are like arming themselves now. And it's getting that crazy. That's when that's why I was, wondering if you were serious about that.
Well, no, now you don't realize the gas here has dropped dramatically. Well,
that's another thing that none of us have talked about is that Saudi Arabia declared war on Russia. So there's this crude war, and the price of gas and oil is just dropping, which is also it's killed the American oil market.
So, Sean, what's your take on the correlation or the coincidence between the crypto markets and the traditional markets in effect of the whole coronavirus panic?
Well, with the traditional markets, it is just the usual. I mean, but the supply chain. First, all these corporations are so dependent on China now. Like Ford's factory, and we get most of our steel. And there's so many things that when China shut down, and it wasn't really that wide known, but now that everything's starting to fall apart, and these corporations, they can't get a lot of the things that they need to function. That's when it's falling apart. Ford can't sell cars if they can't make them. They can't make them if they're not coming from their factories over there, or if they're not getting the things they need to make them. So it's that trickle down. Plus, they're going to be laying people off. And then once that came out, that caused massive panic and fear that we've never had. Plus the massive panic and fear from a regular pandemic, sickness, or anything like that. So it's twofold, which created that huge movement of wealth, which, in all fairness, really should have helped Bitcoin. And maybe 5 years from now or 10 years from now, it would have moved completely out of that, because the money went somewhere. It came out of the stock market, and it should usually go into Bitcoin, gold, silver. And silver is up, or gold is up a lot. Silver's not up as much as it should be, but gold is up a lot. But then also money's coming out of the crypto market, obviously.
So what's your opinion on that? Why do you think the crypto market has crashed at the same time as the traditional market? Is there a connection?
I think that there is. My opinion is that
silver is at $14.74. What the fuck?
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, I just sold mine at 18 2 weeks ago at $18. I sold my silver, and my gold I sold at $16.80.
Yes, gold is up like crazy.
No, it's at $15.28 now. It went down.
Yep.
Well, because
everything is crashing, man.
Did you see what the stock market did today? It rebounded pretty well.
Yeah, it did. Surprisingly.
So that's the way it goes, though. That goes back up, gold goes back down, people move money. Yeah. You should be able to see where the money's moving to. And if you don't,
there should be that solid store value that we're seeing, but we're not seeing that.
But if you don't see that, then that means people are putting the money under their bed. They're preparing for
exactly.
And I think that's exactly what Darko was actually going for there, was what's the correlation? I think the correlation is that it's all money. It's all
everybody.
Some people are taking things out and they're hiding because they don't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it is
the panic.
a lot of it is just the panic, where
Yes.
it's like the toilet paper effect.
Exactly
People are
right.
moving their money out of crypto and moving their
Yes.
money out of traditional markets at the same time, and moving it into liquid cash.
So the correlation there is panic, you could say.
Yeah.
Darko, what I'm going to say, the correlation of people that are in the crypto world and have cryptocurrency and real money, the correlation is that we're all panicking. Let's get it out and do what we got to do.
Mhm.
I don't think it has anything to do with, oh shit, the stock market's coming down, so we better take it out of here. I think, Darko, honestly, my opinion too, just my opinion again also, is that I think everybody's just a little nervous, you know? One time years ago, somebody said, oh, get all your money out of the bank, they're going to close the bank. Everybody panicked and started taking the money out. I think that's just where the correlation is.
But why are they taking the money out? They're panicking, I understand that. It's emotional. But why are they taking it out? What do you think is the intent behind taking it out? Do you think they're just...
I think the thing is they don't know. Like I was saying, it's just something that is so foreign to so many people.
I think they're scared one day they show up and their money won't be there.
Exactly right.
That's
Bank, like I said a few years ago, you see
taking,
where the bank was
they're
saying,
taking money out of
take
the
your money
market
out of the
because they
bank,
want
take
to
your
be
money
in
out of the bank.
cash. That's what it's all about.
Well, do you think that people are panicking as a result of the economic meltdown? They're withdrawing whatever they have in order to bulk buy 6 months worth of shit.
No,
because
I
they
think
need
they're
to.
taking it out just so they don't lose it.
Yeah, I do think that's part of it. I mean,
I think
At the moment they take it out, they've lost it. They haven't lost it until they've taken it out.
Well, not really, because if let's say you have $100 in the bank and you take out your $100, but if you left it there next year, the bank closes and shuts down and says, "Hey, we ain't got no money for you," then you lost your money.
Oh, sorry, I was talking from a crypto sense, not from a
crypto also. If let's say crypto, you have Ethereum or Bitcoin, whatever, and you got $100 worth of that, let's say. All of a sudden, you panic and saying things are going to happen. You take it out. All of a sudden, the cryptocurrency just closes down. Does whatever.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is, if you got $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, for example, it drops by 80%. Some people will say, "I've lost 80 grand," right?
Right. Yeah,
no,
you
haven't
lost anything until you sell. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying.
Yeah. What I meant by that was not that you're gonna, believe me, I'm a holder. I freaking hold. You'll hear the story. But anyway,
he is a holder. Probably the biggest holder on the face of the earth.
The story's been told plenty of times. I definitely hold. But you're correct. Yes, you don't lose it until you take it out. But I think what the people are doing are taking it out before they think it goes to zero. I think that's where it might be. I might lose everything, so I better take it out for a little bit. I don't think they're taking out just so it went down 10%, whatever. That's what I think.
Or I think
this is the greatest opportunity to buy.
Yeah.
Yes, buy. Now's the time to buy. What's the big saying? Buy low and sell high. We're gonna stop buying now. Exactly.
For every sale made, there's a buyer on the other end of the screen winning.
Yes.
Well, that's where my opinion comes in, Darko.
Yes.
That was what I would say is my opinion.
Yes.
I think a lot of this money moved out of the market, the traditional market and gold market, and it's being used to manipulate crypto, to get it as low as possible, like they did back when they first started the CME, like they did back when they first started. Now they're getting it back down to where it was when they did it the last time.
And on that note, Sean, on that note, if Bitcoin eventually will be worth one day $100,000 or $1 million one day, I hope to God that we see it drop in the hundreds by next week before it bounces back up to that point.
Buy it up. Exactly right.
Let them panic sell. Let them panic sell.
This is the freaking opposite of a pump and dump. This is the opposite of it. They're trying to get it to dump to go down, and then they're going to buy it and pump it back up again.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of pumping and dumping.
They've done it a few times, and it's always institutional money.
And in times like these where the markets crash 40, 50%, especially Bitcoin, for example, there are two types of people in this market. There's the panic sellers and the FOMO buyers. Which one are you?
I'll buy it.
Dumb money.
I buy all the dips, man.
When it's low, that's the best time to buy it. And like I say, I'll hold my money too. I hold my coins until things happen. I watch my money go up. I watch it come down. I'm still holding it. And Joe loves that. But what are you gonna do? I'm still holding. That's all.
I think you do. I think ultimately he's doing the right thing because he's got
I got a good portfolio.
Good portfolio coins. And look, if one or two of them run, he could make a fortune. But with that being said, you got to use, if you have the money, you know, and you really believe in crypto, like I personally do, you know, I really believe Ethereum is going to change the world. Ethereum 2.0.
I think we're looking for another dip, but I'm gonna go. I gotta jump off.
Okay.
It was good hanging out with y'all.
Sean, thank you so much.
Yeah,
buddy.
Sean,
Appreciate
thanks.
your
We're
input,
going to
man.
cut out of here soon anyway, but
Yeah.
thank you.
I'll see you
Okay.
around. You know that, buddy. I'll
Take
talk
it
to
easy,
you.
Sean.
Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you later, Darko.
Say hello to Lee,
Um,
please.
I will. Take
All
care.
right, brother.
Be good, Sean.